Welcome to the channel. My name is Crawford and this is Virginia's for Lowriders. We're back in the garage. We are trying to make progress on the 1990 Ford Ranger. We are putting hydraulics on this truck. We are trying to make it go up and down very aggressively, hoping for a little baby hopping and hopefully big monster 3 wheels. That's the plan. We've been working on this truck for like a month and a half or so, 2 months, whatever it's been now. And we keep running into problems. We are getting closer to holiday seasons, and by close I mean Christmas is like 3 days from now. So all of the shipping of everything that I've ordered has been messed up. But we're trying to work past that. Today, we're waiting on parts. I've been waiting on parts all week. I've been procrastinating and coming out here and getting stuff done because I get that whole hung up on I'd like to do this one thing and get this done until I move on to the other thing, and that has held me back a lot. So we're out here. We have a couple hours today and that's it. So we're going to try and get as much done as we can. We need to make as much progress as possible. Something is supposed to be shipped to FedEx, so I'm going to have to cut the video short today so I can drive an hour and so back and forth to hit the FedEx store to pick up everything. So if you've never been here before, we are like, I don't know what the video this is, 9 or something like that on this truck. There's 60 videos on my other truck. It's been bagged, body dropped, and a whole lot of work done to that. We're just trying to get some stuff done. We're doing some literal weekend warrior stuff right now because we are down to Sunday afternoon because I have waited and waited and waited. So we left off last week with we're trying to get some solutions going for the brake system. We ran into some problems with the brake system. The master cylinder touches the actual cylinder for the hydraulics. It is even spaced down with an extra donut, and it still comes in contact. I switched out that booster from that gigantic one that came on there from the factory. This is an earlier truck model booster. I even bought an earlier master cylinder, and it was even bigger than this guy. So what I did, after many, many hours of Googling this week and calling around, trying to come up with, am I willing to put manual brakes on a truck that I'm adding 1,000 pounds to? I really don't want to. I don't want to take away from the braking system. I understand there's positive sides, like if the truck doesn't run, that the brakes still work and all that stuff like that. But you're talking about literally downgrading a brake system after adding 1,000 pounds between however many batteries, pumps, and a sheet and a half of 3/16, plus all of the other stuff that I'm welding in this truck. We'll be pretty close to that 1,000 pound mark added to this thing. So I'm trying to avoid manual brakes at all cost. And what I came up with, and I think this is the easiest solution for now, and I can always switch them out later because it's extremely easy to switch them out. I ordered a 6-inch set of cylinders. I think that's going to be the solution for this. They should be somewhere around here in height, completely out of the way. I ordered a new master cylinder because this one is garbage, and it's what caused this to also go bad, as you can tell by the rust. So all of that said, waiting on the mailman, waiting on USPS, waiting on FedEx, and waiting on UPS because I ordered parts from all of them. And again, I was kind of banking on the parts showing up when they were supposed to. They're supposed to show up on Friday. It is now Sunday, and they're telling me maybe today I have to go get them. So I don't want to sound like I'm complaining because I'm not. It is what it is. It's Christmas time. Everybody gets the benefit of the doubt. Everybody's busy. Tons of things are being shipped out and going around the world. And my hydraulic parts really don't matter when it comes to things that are more important. But with all of that being said, we got to get something done. I need to knock out some kind of fabrication. I've been wanting to make something every weekend rather than just grinding and fixing stuff and doing. There's a lot of things that need to be done. I want to make something. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to make something. What I came up with, something that needs to be done in my eyes, I would like to, a couple things. As I said with the transmission crossmember, it didn't need to be removed and modified and shortened and leveled with the bottom of the frame and tucked out of the way. but they're just terribly ugly on these things. And the same thing goes for this front cross member. This tumor of a thing here, I'd like to remove this. I'd like to remove the sway bar because we can no longer use that because everything in the front suspension is going to be over-traveled and abused. All of these things are kind of bolted together, so I would like to remove this and remake a probably 2x2 cross member that is tucked up out of the way. It doesn't hang down and look terrible, and I'm not going off-roading or hopefully not doing anything to where this big guard is protecting my steering stuff, so I don't think that this ugly thing is necessary. And again, I just want to make something. I have something else that I'd like to make out of sheet metal. One of the first videos we did on this, we made, excuse my terribly messy garage, it's always like this. We made this monster of a battery rack for the front. This will also get tie downs and be way overkill for a front battery. But I don't know if y'all have ever been to around here I wouldn't really call them hopping competitions, but we have picnics and we have lowrider events and things like that nature in this immediate area. If you've ever been to one of those things and you've seen hoppers, they beat themselves apart. I have seen batteries literally come out of the engine bay and hit the ground because they were in factory battery locations with factory battery tie downs, and they're not meant for a car hopping 3 to 6 feet in the air, whatever it may be. So we made that an overkill. I removed the rusty old hunk of poop that was there before, but I've been thinking about this. It's bolted in to the side, it's bolted in here, but this is just kind of spot welded to the actual core support. I would like to come up with a sheet metal bracket to tie all of these things together to where this can't move side to side even if this guy wasn't there. I understand that this is going to tie in a lot, but I'd like for this to be beefy and strong on its own. So I'd like to make something out of sheet metal. Maybe we'll get some dimple dies out and make this cooler and stronger all at the same time. For the little bit of time that I have left for the day, between now and having to go to FedEx to pick something up, that hopefully actually comes in, maybe, I think that's a good game plan. There's a couple things we can get out of our system fabricating something. Hopefully y'all stick around and subscribe. There's a video I posted on Friday evening or Saturday evening that we're doing a t-shirt giveaway. We are very close to hitting that 4,000 subscriber mark. Go watch the video posted previous to this one and watch the thing in its entirety and see the instructions on how to enter to win a t-shirt and some stickers. It's completely free. Doesn't cost you anything. Just subscribe. So I'm going to stop rambling. We're going to get some tools out because we need to hurry because I am very running out of time. I know I normally do this to myself for whatever reason. It's probably ADD related like I always complain about, but I'm getting really bad about it. I really got to stop. I know I just spent 8 minutes rambling. Don't be mad at me. Before I forget, because I just saw it in the corner of my eye while I was explaining all the other stuff, I ordered 4 more springs for the truck. I didn't really want to run 2 tons. I wanted to run 3 tons. That was a recommendation from Magic Man Metal Fab. He told me 3 tons is the way to go with these things. I couldn't find a true 3-ton unless it was a full stack with sliced ends. Everybody seems like they're sold out. I found this is the closest thing I could find. I found 2 3/4 ton, and they're a little flashy. I didn't intend, I'm not a flashy person. If you've seen my other stuff, it's pretty much everything is black and smooth and kind of low key, like just not flashy. This is a complete opposite from that, but this is what I could find, and they were at a great price. These are the 2 tons that we purchased before, which these will just get passed on to another project. That's the greatest thing about hydraulics is none of this stuff is wasted. It's kind of like an airbag. Like if the airbag didn't fit in your mini truck because it was too big, put it in your full size. Same concept. These are 2 3/4 ton which they look about the same size coil, and I'm not really sure how that stuff is rated, but judging by the man's website, these are 2 3/4 ton, and they are in chrome, and they don't look too bad. Not sure how you chrome. I guess they polish the outside before they chrome them, because the inside is not chrome. But I'm cool with this. This is as much flashy as I'm willing to go suspension wise, and apparently this saran wrap is childproof. But you get the idea. They look pretty good. They are maybe a little beefier. Probably the exact same thing. But that's what we're going with. 2 3/4 ton chromes, pre-cuts, almost the same size. Hopefully they hold up. I'm going to try and get some multitasking in today. Try to get some stuff painted. Maybe I can try and throw this together because, again, I, for whatever reason, don't do mechanical work and get hung up on not getting the stuff done. We're just cleaning this stuff because basically once that shield comes on or goes on there, it's never coming off. So now is the time. Oh, or not. Maybe. Oh, there we go. We're good to go. All of this steering stuff's getting replaced. Basically, we just need paint on this side of it. All of this will get sprayed with a gun, I believe, this go around. But if we don't paint this now, and I put all that brake stuff on there, it's not going to get painted on this side. So we need to get some kind of a paint on this setup beforehand. Some of you will be happy to know that I did change the glass on the sandblast cabinet. So I no longer have to do this while I'm sandblasting, and I can actually get some stuff done. It took an agonizing, it was like pulling teeth. It probably took me like 20 minutes, and I had the worst 20 minutes of my life. But we got it in the paint booth. We're gonna throw some primer on that real quick and then jump back to trying to get something done. We're in a little bit of a rush today because it's already like 1:30 and I don't know what I can get done in that short amount of time. If you have a little garage, I highly recommend one of these dudes. They're like 60 bucks off Amazon. It's essentially like a downdraft paint booth. It's almost the same thing. For those of you that have been around for a long time, you've seen me do it like probably 100 times now. These are like 20 bucks at Home Depot or Lowe's. They're extremely cheap. And obviously they can take some abuse because this thing is rough. But for drying stuff when you're impatient and you don't feel like waiting around, I mean, even if you're not impatient and you just want a better result and get some stuff done, this is the way to go. It speeds this process up a lot. Just stay a little bit away from everything, run over it until nothing's shiny, and you're ready to go. Super simple. It has been an hour. I got that text from the FedEx thing saying that my package was at the location. So we're going to do a little story time and a little unboxing real quick before we get back to work. Now that it's 3 o'clock. Took exactly an hour to get there and back. So, if y'all have been following along, I have been talking myself slowly into basically making the Ranger more extreme and handle more and do more things more aggressively and potentially be kind of cooler. So, let's rewind. I've explained this a few times. I had some CCE pumps. They were number 9s. They were street pumps, street gears, all of like basic 3-pump setup. I talked myself into running a 1/2-inch port 11 gear front, and then I eventually talked myself into making it matching because I was a Hoppos. I bought Hoppos rear pumps. That snowballed. So the more and more and more I think about this, I want this. I don't want to build hoppers. Like, this isn't my thing. I might fall in love with it and build another one, but I don't generally like building stuff to abuse it. I'm more of like the Caprice as a partial wrap. If I decide to, I can 3-wheel it and do whatever, but it's not made for hopping. It's made for cruising, lay and play, ride and comfort, all of those things. And that's how I build all my cars. So, with the mindset of the Ranger is a one and only hopper, whatever happens to it, fully willing to abuse this truck, but I want to build it to handle the abuse. That turned into me talking myself into buying some more stuff from Hoppos. So, of course, I had to add a t-shirt in there because their t-shirts look pretty good. But the main thing that I talked myself into, on top of all of this, which I will go into detail when the time comes of how this works versus like a normal street pump. I'll break it all down and explain all of it. But for now, we're just going to say this is basically, again, I've never tried Hoppos, so it all looks like really awesome, great stuff. The machining and everything that they do is really nice. But this is what's called a piston pump. And a piston pump means that the Ranger will get everything that it could potentially get as far as potential, like, aggressiveness, hopping. This basically will hopefully, I don't know, this solves some problems. It takes less to do more, and it isn't as hard on stuff as far as the hydraulic system goes itself. Again, I'll explain all of this more in detail later, but for the people that know what a piston pump is, this is going to turn it up a good bit. It's going to be, we'll just say, ready to party, more so than we were before. And the other pump that I bought, one thing I did want to talk about, and I'll grab it out of the van. People have asked me a few times, what's up with the van? Haven't forgot about the van. The van, I'm still stacking parts. I'm still trying to find a deal on trans and some heads. But I think I have all of the hydraulic stuff squared away. Everything that wasn't going to go on this, or everything that's been pushed away from this, is going to go on the van. That 11 pump will go on the van, and I think I'm going to run a manifold, which I'll show you all that in a little bit. But basically, the Ranger will have a single piston pump to the front and 2 number 9 street pumps to the rear. And it's basically, I'm throwing everything at it that I can. The only way to get higher than this is a 13 gear and 2 of these pumps. But I don't think I need all that. I really don't need this. But I've never bought a piston pump. So this is new to me. And we're going to be experimenting and hopefully not breaking stuff. Which this could cause some stuff to break. But I'll go grab the manifold, I'll show you all that, and then we'll get back to work because I have talked way too much and I wasted too much time driving around today. It is freezing outside and this thing is like a giant ice cube. This is a 5 dump manifold. This will allow me to run what was going to be the front pump for the truck on the van. So the van will still have the speed and get up to lift it because it's heavy. This will allow me to control all 4 individual corners with a single pump. It has an inlet and an outlet as far as the pump side goes, and 4 outlets for each individual corner. So it's essentially a whole bunch of dumps tied into one big old block. It'll have 4 accumulators. I actually had this on a Honda back in the day, and then eventually it made it to a truck, and then I pulled it off and saved it. It's from a company called Hydraulics. I don't think they make anything anymore. This was probably 10 years ago. They were pretty big into making imports go up and down, and that's what I had this on, was a Honda. I might have actually had it on 2 Hondas. I changed my mind a lot back in the day like I do now, except I was doing it with cars that used to be $500. Now there's no such thing, but everything that didn't work out in the Ranger is going to go on the van, and I'll be able to hide all that stuff. Because the more I've been thinking about it, rather than the van having a big flashy pump setup, I got some ideas. I think I can hide everything inside the floor because there's huge cavities basically all the way around the frame on the van. Like I could put potentially 6 batteries and the pump and the manifold underneath the floor. That's the idea. So hopefully all that works out, and the van will get a very nice brand new pump to go along with all of that, and I need to get back to work, so let's just do that. So to sum up all those purchases, I don't know if y'all listen real close, you can hear my credit card in my pocket going, help, help. It's really bad, but let's see if we can get some of this stuff apart real quick. I gotta make something today. I like how every time I take something off this truck, mud daubers fall out of the frame. Oh, wow, that's a whole lot of bracket for a sway bar. I don't think I've ever seen that before. See, we got weight reduction going on here, just so we can add it all right back. I did not think that bracket would be that involved. That's a lot. Let's see if we can come up with something a little simpler and cleaner looking. So I had an idea. Instead of trying to reinvent the wheel here and come up with some new bracket, I'm just going to utilize the bracket that was already on there. I think that makes the most sense. It's already made, it's already got the right bolt holes and everything. It's gonna need a little cleaning first. Pretty beefy. It looks like at least 3/16. So, I'm going to throw these in the sandblast cabinet with the new glass. Just saying, I put the new glass on. We'll get these cleaned up real quick. Got these all cleaned up. Apparently, these are made in Canada. Maybe I got a Canadian Ranger. Okay, they are marked, so that's good. We are looking at, let's say 29. That gives us room to cap it off with 3/16 on the end. I think that'll work. Hopefully these things are made even. I have to take some measurements, but it kind of seems like they are. Like the bend is in the same place. If not, it's gonna be a little bit of messing around. All right, I just need to measure to something that's the same on both sides of the frame. Maybe the core support. It should be relatively straightish. Say 6.5-ish. Yeah, it's actually pretty straight. If it's off, it's maybe a 16th. It's also kind of hard to tell because it doesn't really seem like there's a single point on any of this that's the same. smells like old Chinese food. Or like bad shrimp or something. So I might be a little partial since I made it, but I think that looks a lot better than all of that. And it's probably pretty similar in weight, if not lighter. I'm going to wait for that to cool down a little bit. We'll mess with this, and then I'll bolt that on, because that is extremely hot. So this random weird looking thing is what I came up with for in here. As I continue to drop everything I own on the ground in the garage, it will go something like this. I'll have to break this edge and this edge. So that it should fit. We're gonna see how this goes. We're gonna cut this weird torpedo looking thing out of some sheet metal. That's what I was talking about. A little bit of a close-up of the welds and stuff. I did it. I finally put the brakes together on the driver's side. Can you believe it? It's pretty wild. But progress. Progress. It's very simple but strong. And when you look at it from the front, you don't have all that ugliness hanging down. I have some ideas of things that I want to tie into this. So I'm going to leave it raw for now, just like everything else pretty much is right now. I probably should have added a 90 to the top of this, but what I think I'm going to do is I'm cool with this. I left it a little low. I'm going to break a 90 and then spot weld and sandwich this together and then tie that 90 into this wall. That way all of this is out. It's already tightened up, like none of it moves, but I'm going to add that in there, and I think that'll be plenty strong enough for that. Oh yeah, we made progress, and we picked up parts that were supposed to be here 4 days ago. And I just heard the USPS truck pull in, and I got a notification saying that my brake master cylinder is sitting on my back porch. So, parts are showing up slowly. I don't know when the cylinders are going to show up, but I got an idea. I want to put the new chrome springs in, put the wheels on, and we need to get some kind of satisfaction and instant gratification. And I want to put the front of the truck on the ground just to check to see what ride height's going to be. It is what it is. These are pre-cut coils. I don't want to go any lower. There's a chance that they're too low, which I hope that's not the case, because if they're too low, I'll ruin fenders whenever everything starts to compress, and I'll end up having to get a taller coil. But let's try it out. I got a whole lot of stuff to move around. We'll throw an adapter and a wheel on this side, and we'll put it on the ground real quick. It's pretty good. It's not like Minitruck low, which I said in the very beginning it wouldn't be like my Mazda, it wouldn't be on the ground. And we need the space to allow the wheel to move around and do whatever it needs to do. But it's pretty good. I left the donut on top of the cylinder on the other side to space it down, just in case the 6 needs to be spaced down. I removed the donut on the driver's side. So I-beams are sort of adjustable to an extent. You can get like, the biggest shim adjuster thing I could find was a 4-degree. So there will be some camber removed with it all the way down. And again, this might be too low, and I might need a taller coil just to avoid the fender. I didn't want to talk about it until they came in, but I did order some different wheels for this truck. So we'll have to see how it looks with those wheels. And I don't want to spoil those until they show up, but they're very similar to what's on there. We'll just say that. But that's a pretty good height. I mean, it's not on the ground or anything, but it's pretty low. It's nothing compared to my Mazda. It's not even close, but as far as what we're trying to do with this truck, it's a pretty good look. You can see I left the coil spring inside of the saran wrap, but you can see I left that spacer in there. So this side's up about a 1/4 inch or so higher than the other side, and the rear is still stock, so it throws it off a little bit. I like it though. There's a whole lot of camber, and what I'd like to do is get some positive camber out of it. I have a flat tire there too, so the truck leans. That was test fitting stuff. But not bad. It's a cool look. It's like 7:30 or 7:45, so I will see y'all next Sunday. I'm going to go inside and finish editing this so y'all don't have to watch it at midnight. I appreciate y'all watching. Don't forget to hop over to the video I posted Saturday and follow the directions and stuff to win some free stuff. Totally free. All you gotta do is subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see y'all next Sunday.